Miller, please come forward and do the invocation. Is Senior Senator Miller here? Thank you. Is the podium microphone on? She should be able to come to the podium on this one. It's on.
Just go ahead. As we approach the end of the 31st session of the California Senior Legislature, let us give thanks for each of our leadership capabilities, our minds that create the ideas for legislation, our hearts for the compassion to make a difference in the lives of seniors, and the disabled in our bodies to provide the energy to carry it through. And let us remember our past members who are no longer with us, who have paved the way for this opportunity and left their footprints here in the halls of our Capitol. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would Senior Senator Joanna Kim Selby lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please stand. And if you're a veteran, you may salute. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, yes. Can you please identify yourself?
Saul Fingold, Senior Senator, PSA 19, Los Angeles County. Yesterday morning, Dee Ehrman left. She was not feeling well. Is there any report on her condition? Thank you.
Someone in the back has their hand up. They will report.
I had breakfast with Dee this morning. She got home from the hospital last night, took her pain medication, slept well. She looks beautiful, and she was raring to go. She has to come in a van, and I think they're probably all coming in one van. So let's be a little patient. I'm sure they will get her. They're coming from the Vagabond Hotel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. However, we have to continue with the meeting, since it's already been opened. At this time, I'd like to announce the Sergeant of Arms is Larry Lowe and Felix Placentia. Am I pronouncing that right?
That's correct.
Thank you. And once again, David Mayer will be our floor clerk, and at this point in time, we would like to have him call the roll.
Senator Alderson.
Here.
Senator Blum.
Here.
Senator Cox.
Here.
Senator Eaton.
Here.
Senator Ehrman. Senator Fingold.
Present.
Senator Frazier.
Here.
Senator Fromm.
Here.
Senator Hartman.
Here.
Senator Jaffe.
Here.
Senator Jones. Senator Casper.
Here.
Senator Kim Selby. Senator Lamongo. Senator Levy.
Here.
Senator Lucero.
Here.
Senator Lundeen.
No.
Senator Messler.
Here.
Senator Miller.
Here.
Senator Murphy.
Here.
Senator Newton.
Here.
Senator Orange. Senator Overfield.
Here.
Senator Peabody.
Here.
Senator Schlitz. Senator Schlitz. Senator Smith. Senator Sorensen.
Here.
Senator Stephan. Senator Steer.
Here.
Senator Streeper. Senator Thomas.
Present.
Senator Thompson.
Present.
Senator Truding.
Here.
Senator Icker.
Here.
Senator Winslow. Senator Winslow. Senator Woods. Here. Senator Young. Here. We have 28 present right now.
28. This number will change when the rest of them make it.
So as of
at this
now,
point in time, we need
15 for a majority.
15 to make an approval. Before we start with the actual agenda, we have been asked to remind everyone about our code of ethics. I believe we have passed them out. This is very important because there has been some unfortunate incidents which has occurred during the past several days that have been brought to our attention. And it is really, really important to remember that we are in the state capitol at the pleasure of those people who allow us to use these facilities. And as I mentioned, there was some rude things that were said to some of the staff people and requesting certain things and so forth and so on, which they were not responsible for doing. So it is really, really important that you reread this code of ethics. You have all, I believe, signed these things previously, but it's good to remind yourself of what's in this code of ethics. Have all of you received a copy of the proposals, how they act, what action was taken on them? If you notice, there were 3 proposals that failed. They should be taken out of your book, or at least marked that they were failed. That was AP 5, AFP 7, and AFP 11. Since the authors of the proposals which we are going to be going over today are from the Assembly, they will not be in this room, and they should have asked for someone to be a jockey to speak to the proposals. If they did not, or if there is not someone here to speak to the proposal, then we will ask the chair of that particular policy committee in which that proposal was heard to speak in reference to that proposal. I have asked Senior Senator Austin Lucero to act as the acting chair when 2 proposals of which I have been asked to jockey, I can jockey and speak in reference to those proposals. But since I cannot both jockey the proposals and chair the meeting, I will then, on those 2 proposals, turn the chair over to Senior Senator Lucero Austin Lucero. Excuse me. At this point in time,
You have a question?
the first proposals...
Senator Levy?
Yes.
You have a question?
Yes. Yes, Assemblywoman
Microphone? Microphone?
Selby. You have your hand up to speak?
Yes, I have. Senior Senator Joanna Kim Selby from PSA 7. Yesterday, I informed that AP1 senior volunteers to be honored on Tuesday of May. I have said it's same thing was already chaptered as SCR 32. In that, I'm the author of that, and that was chaptered this year. And its whole entire month of May is senior volunteer to be honored. So this has to be pulled out, saying that the same thing has already chaptered. So I would like someone to relay the message to Assembly so that doesn't come back again.
This will not be heard in the Assembly today. They will only hear senior proposals. However, if you wish to withdraw this proposal, then there is a procedure to withdraw a proposal. It requires 3 members of this group to come forward and sign a petition saying that they want to withdraw this proposal from the consent calendar. If you can find 2 other people who are willing to sign this petition, or just this piece of paper saying you wish to withdraw this, then you can do that. Is that what you wish to do? Yes. Then would you...
Anybody would like to sign?
Is that your proposal?
No, it's an assembly
No, that's
proposal.
not my this
It doesn't
AP1.
matter. It doesn't matter whether it's her proposal or
AP1 is not my proposal. This is an assembly proposal,
Okay.
but I'm saying that's the same thing was chaptered.
Please stop for a moment. I understand, and it does not have to be your proposal, but you do need 2 other people other than yourself who are willing to come forward and request that this proposal be withdrawn from the consent calendar. Then it will be heard on the floor, and then we'll see what happens at this point in time. But we cannot just, on your say-so, pull this off the calendar. So would you like to ask if there are 2 other people who are willing to come forward and have this withdrawn from the consent calendar? Are there 2 other people there's 1 other person who's willing to withdraw? Is there a 3rd person? Okay, would you 3 people come forward, and you'll need to sign a sheet of paper requesting that this proposal be withdrawn from the consent calendar.
Should I just do it on the back?
Just do it on, yes, just do it on the back.
Yes, I raised my hand.
It doesn't seem quite right that the authors doesn't have any input into this. It's just Anderson, isn't it?
Yeah? Well, he can't come over here now.
Yeah, I know that. They just,
This will give time for this other people.
are you just going to go down the row on these things?
I was going to go, down the road, numerically. He does that.
Yeah, and the first one, AP1 is withdrawn, and Anderson will come in and say, hey, what happened? I think it's Mary Anderson, too. The little lady in tennis shoes. She'll turn you into a frog.
Why, is she a witch?
Yes. Thank you. You know it's correct.
Well,
At the very beginning, I told him,
yeah,
I'm not going to remind anyone that there's a method of withdrawing a proposal. Or maybe,
She's like a pit bull.
Hey, let's go. Line of paper, let's go. Uh-oh. At ease, Chief. I'm a lot slower than you.
and also the number of proposals that we have will go rather rapidly in the time frame that we have, so there's no big rush.
Okay. Do it on this side.
We get 1 minute for the consent ones.
Yeah. 1 minute for the consent, 1 minute for each person speaking for and against. 1 minute for and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But the consent is just an informational one. They don't speak for and against on that.
Which one are you doing?
I'm doing
AP2.
13,
Are you doing?
29, and AFP 12.
Right.
And you're doing
Which one are you
AP 12.
doing again?
I'm doing AP 13,
Wait. AP13,
AP 29,
AP29,
and AFP 12.
all federal.
Oh,
Will the clerk,
gotcha. Did you get your packet? Okay, I got you. I'll check you out 3 times. How's that?
Has the clerk received the notice of the 3?
Yes, I have. Put a handrail on it. Yes, it's been pulled from the consent calendar, and it will go on the due pass calendar.
AP1 has now been withdrawn from the consent calendar and will be heard under the
Due pass.
Due pass calendar. Will the clerk please call the next proposal on the consent calendar?
AP3, Safe Emergency Evacuation for Frail, authored by Assemblymember Borenstein.
Is there a jockey who would wish to speak for this proposal? Each person will have 1 minute to speak. There will be no further discussion on this proposal.
AP3, Safe Emergency Evacuation for Frail, authored by Senior Assemblymember Borenstein. 85.
This was heard in the... Oh, we have a speaker for it. Please give your name and your 1 minute comment in regard to this.
Senior Senator Saul Fingold, Los Angeles County, AP 19. I would like to make some comments regarding this particular issue. We all want to live in our homes as long as we can and be active in our community. Frail seniors with mobility problems and vision problems are at risk in public venues like theaters, stadiums, seating, and during emergency evacuations there. For example, in Disney Hall in LA, on the upper floors, the stairwells are narrow and sharp. The remedy would be to have the Office of the State Fire Marshal develop emergency standards and reporting procedures with specific attention to senior needs. Currently, only guidelines exist. The guidelines, if you follow, or not, you don't. But if they have requirements, then they have to be followed. This would be implemented by the authority having local jurisdiction, usually local fire departments.
Thank you very much. You need to come to a close on this.
Pardon?
You need to close.
Thank you.
The next item, please read.
AP8, Sex Discrimination, authored by Senior Assemblymember Haas.
Is there someone here who will speak in reference to this proposal?
Page 111.
Is there a jockey for this proposal, which was heard in the Social and Community Policy Committee? Carla Truling is the chair of this committee. Would she like to speak in reference to this proposal? Yes.
I think, especially for the new members, I don't remember any discussion for the new members concerning jockeys. I don't think many of the new members really have an idea of what a jockey is for the opposition, house.
Yes. Lola.
Senior Senator Lola Young, and I happen to be on the Social and Community Services, and I gladly speak to this proposal.
Yes,
it's simply asking that we add sex discrimination to the to the public enrollment. And the reason for this proposal is that when you look at all of the regulations for government programs, you see race, color, everything but gender. And this proposal is simply to add gender to that discrimination.
Thank you very much. In response to Senior Senator Wood's comments, it is known, or should be known, that when you have a proposal that moves from one house to the other house, you can be heard in committee, but you cannot be heard on the floor. This is true during the other 10 to 11 months of the year, and it's also true in our rules. So you need to have another person, which we call a jockey, speak. And it is possible that many of our new members were not aware of this. And so, however, the chairs are all aware of this, of the policy committees. And it has always been the responsibility of the chair of a policy committee that if there was no one to speak on one of the proposals heard in their committee, then it is their responsibility to do so. The next proposal,
Absolutely.
we will hear in just a moment.
AP 10, Prescription Drug Waste Recycling, authored by Senior Assembly Member Kagan.
Is there a person to speak in reference to this proposal? Is there a person to speak in reference to this proposal? This proposal was heard in the Health Committee. Senior Senator Steer, are you here? And can you speak in reference to this?
I don't wish to. Thank you.
Could any other person, if you would like to designate another person in that committee to speak? In that case, I'll read a short comment on this proposal, which says that the proposal requires pharmaceutical manufacturers and local pharmacies to establish a local prescription drug recycling center. That is the basis of that proposal. We will go now to the next item on the consent calendar.
AP 11, relating to identity theft, punishment enhancement, authored by Senior Assembly Member Kammerer, page 163.
Is there someone to speak in reference to this proposal? Is there someone to speak in reference to this proposal? This was also heard in the social and community.
State and local government.
State and local government. Is there anyone in state and local government who would like to speak to this proposal? Excuse me? ASP, yes.
Senior Senator Joanna Kim Selby, we heard this proposal at the State and Local Committee. And this is a very good one. What happens is we do not know how credit rating is going to go. So if credit rating is froze, then no other person can get this that particular individual's credit. So that's why this person would like to freeze it when something happens. So I'm all for it. We as seniors needed this kind of protection.
Thank you very much. Would the clerk please read the next proposal?
AP 12, Diablo Canyon Power Plant Seismic Studies Emergency Evacuation Plans, authored by Senior Assembly Member Lowe.
There's a question.
Is there a question on the floor?
I'm jockey
For which?
for 12.
Okay.
My name is Mickey Peabody, PSA 30, Stanislaus County, and I rise in favor of Assembly Proposal 12 in that it has to do with the seismic concerns with Diablo Canyon Nuclear Power Plant. This affects approximately 3 million people. There is an evacuation plan if you can find it in the telephone book and if you're able to get to one of the sites. Our concern is for our frail seniors and our disabled communities, and that some kind of plan needs to be reckoned with by the utility company, financed by the utility company, to put these evacuation plans. This is a very vulnerable area because this power plant has been built on not one, but at least 3 seismic faults. So I rise in support of this and ask you also to support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the next proposal?
AP 13, Personal Amplifier Listening Devices, authored by a Senior Assembly Member Lucero.
I don't know anyone who might want to speak. Senior Senator Lucero, would you like to speak in reference to this?
Austin Lucero, PSA 10. I was requested to jockey this proposal by Senior Assembly Member Austin Lucero, and I am doing that at this point. You
might want to explain how you became both in the Assembly and the Senate.
Some people get 2 bites of the apple. I was elected to my position subsequent to all the deadlines that CSL had placed, and I was elected to the position at the request of Ann Mack prior to her passing. And so I was reluctant to accept because I didn't want to admit the fact that she was not going to be with us. Eventually, I was convinced that I should do it, and so then I went ahead and did it. I was appointed and elected by our Advisory Council on Aging, and then we could not get a caucus that was had a quorum, so 2 months went by, and eventually I was finally elected, and by then all deadlines had passed, and so consequently every document that I produced was under the title of Senior Assemblyman, and when I walked in here, I had to put on another hat. And that's the reason for it.
Thank you. Now would you explain?
Now, did that take up one of my minutes, or do I get it? PAL, that personal amplifying listening device, is a device that's really in itself a hearing aid. The problem that we have is that people seem to think that hearing is a privilege. It's not. It's a right. And people are not being able to hear because the prices of hearing aids are astronomical. And it's important for us to represent the seniors so that they can hear. When you charge, I have an invoice in my hand for a retired sheriff, and it's $9,895. A hearing aid is a little public address system that you stick in your ear. Now, you tell me that cost $10,000. My background is electrical engineering, and I ran an electronics and robotics academy. I'm familiar with this. You can make those for a lot less. We should then be able to pass this. The problem is that it's being done right now without authorization. The state is not being able to control the quality of hearing aids that are being produced, and we need to do that. And I think I have just been given the hook. Remember, AP 13, the lucky number for seniors.
Thank you very much. We'll now hear the next proposal.
AP 25, relating to consumer credit reports, authored by Senior Assembly Member Schluntz.
Is there someone to speak in reference to this proposal?
It's page
Is there
177.
someone to speak in reference to this proposal?
Page 177.
This proposal was heard in the state and local government. Is there anyone who would like to speak from state and local government in reference to this proposal? I will read the short. Yes. Senior Senator Eaton.
Just briefly, this proposal was heard in committee yesterday, and what it does is it allows seniors to have a stop and a start, opening or closing on their credit rating rather than being charged the $5 that they're charged currently. It gives them freely to be able to put a hold on their credit rating and then to lift that hold when they want some appropriate person to check it for that one point in time. So it's just briefly removes the $5 charge as it's done now in the state of Washington. And it, oh, right, exactly. It doesn't count against your credit score, so of people checking on you all the time. Yeah, I'm getting all these reminders. It's for people age 65 and over, not for everyone, but just 65 and over to have that $5 charge lifted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the next proposal?
AP 29, Office of the State LTC Ombudsman, Functions and Authority, authored by Senior Assembly Member Tucker.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of this proposal?
Page 139.
Senator Lucero.
Senior Senator Austin Lucero, representing PSA 10. Senior Assemblyman Member Tucker asked me to speak to this proposal, and basically it's very simple. There is one law in the state of California that refers to the ombudsman, but it did not put the duties into that bill. There are a lot of other things in it. There's also a federal law that has all the duties in it, but in order to marry the two or work with the two of them is very cumbersome. It would be easier if you just duplicated the duties in the federal, from the federal one, and transferred them over to the state law. And that would cover the whole thing, and so would eliminate all the confusion. It's a simple act of copy and paste, as you would say in your computer terms. So no big deal. I think it's a really good one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk please read the next proposal?
AP 30, Waste Disposal, Home-Generated Sharps Waste, authored by Senior Assembly Members Walker and Kerwin on page 61.
Is there anyone here who will speak in favor of this proposal? This proposal was heard in the Health Committee. Anyone from the Health Committee who is willing to speak? Senior Senator Steer. One moment. Wait till we get you a loud-speaking mechanism to you. Call the microphone.
This proposal mandates or suggests that every hospital and pharmacy have sharp containers, and people who do injections at home, like diabetics, should have a sharps container, the little red boxes that you put your needle and syringe in. So then they're picked up by hospitals or pharmacies and disposed of in some mysterious way. And I think it's a very good idea to prevent anybody from putting their needles and syringes in their ordinary garbage disposal or out on the street, whatever. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next proposal, please.
AP 31, Mandating Caregiving Requirements, authored by Senior Assembly Member Wolf, page 67.
Is there someone who would like to speak in favor of this proposal? Is there someone who would like to speak? Senior Senator Trudy.
Thank you. Senior Senator Carla Truding from PSA 15. This mandates requirement. This is for their licensing and certification of all unlicensed or uncertified caregivers providing care in an unregulated environment. This addresses the problem of people being transported to to an assembly area in the case of a disaster, and having them be able to stay there. They're normal, ordinary caregiver. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
AP 32, Reverse Mortgage Transparency Act, authored by Senior Assembly Member Crone, page 5.
Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this proposal? This was, yes, Senior Senator Lundeen. One moment, wait till we get the microphone to you.
Could we get some wider seats?
That is not within our prerogative.
I do not know on this, but I know enough about the reverse mortgage industry that this bill is needed to clarify and clean up some items, and I wholeheartedly support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have a hand up.
Is there another?
I was co-authored for this bill, AP 32 reverse mortgage, and it simply says that face-to-face consultation is better understood than on the phone or however else they communicate with the person who's applying for the reverse mortgage.
Thank you very much. Would you read the next proposal, please?
AFP 3, Sex Discrimination in Federally Funded Programs and Activities, authored by Senior Assembly Member Haas, co-authored by Senior Assembly Member Rosenberg and Senior Senator Feingold, page 143.
Would one of the co-authors like to speak in reference to this proposal? Senior Senator Feingold, you are going to speak in favor of this? Okay.
143.
Saul Feingold, Senior Senator, PSA 19. This issue, there shouldn't be any discrimination of any kind, period. Here they have reference to some areas and not all of them. I don't think there should be any discrimination anywhere. Thank you.
I think I speak on the next one. That's Alice Lowe's. I didn't see that before.
Number 8?
Yeah. Would you, clerk, please read the next one?
Excuse me. AFP 8, Implementation of the Federal Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, authored by Senior Assembly Member Lowe, page 147.
Someone's going to speak on it.
Senior Senator Lola Young, speaking on behalf of Assembly Member Lowe and her AFP 8, and it just simply says that the Federal Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act provides a funding mechanism to implement that act. This proposal simply is a request by the state of California to ask the federal government to ensure that those funds remain intact and do not pass any legislation that would jeopardize those funds.
Thank you very much, Senior Senator Lowe. Would the clerk please read the next proposal?
AFP 9, Social Security Beneficiary Distribution, authored by Senior Assembly Member Lowe. And this had amendments, I believe, so it doesn't have a page.
No, there's no amendments on that, is there?
Page 1? 21.
Is there anyone who would like to speak in reference to this proposal? I see a hand up there. Please let us know who you are.
This proposal basically is a request that the California legislature communicate to the federal government, don't mess with our Social Security. So it's not a bad message to send, and I would support it.
Thank you very much. Next proposal.
AFP 10, Personal Income Taxes Social Security Benefit. Authored by Senior Assembly Member Lopez, page 25.
Senior Senator Lopez. Now, who is authored by? Anyhow, is there anyone who speak in favor of this proposal? This proposal was heard in Finance and Insurance. Is there anyone who would like to speak in reference to this proposal?
Jenny.
I can't cast her. Sounds like she wants to.
Senior Senator Fraser will be with us in a moment to share with us some comments in reference to this proposal. Page 25 in the proposal book.
Sorry. Nina Frazier, PSA 19, Los Angeles County, and chair of the Senate Finance and Insurance. And this was a proposal that we heard yesterday. And again, it's very clear-cut, and what the author is hoping to do is to make sure that senior citizens ages 65 and older should be exempt from paying income tax on their Social Security benefits. Thank you.
Will the clerk please read the next proposal?
AFP 12, Medicare Dental Services. Authored by Senior Assembly Member Lucero, page 73.
Would Senior Senator Lucero care to comment on this proposal?
Senior Assembly Member Austin Lucero asked Senior Senator Austin Lucero to jockey this for him. I just want you to remember is all. The idea was not born by me. It was born because I was asked the question, how will the dentists feel about this? And it was their idea. There were two universities, dental schools, medical schools of dentistry. One was Buffalo, and the other one was University of Dentistry in Southern California. The doctors then were in contact with a member of the Advisory Council on Aging in Santa Clara, and I was subsequently requested to try to come up with some kind of a document for this. After researching it, it was obvious to me that the federal government was doing their thing again by stepping over a dollar to pick up a dime, meaning that they're not willing to cover this in the Medicare. And the fact is that any illness, or many, many illnesses that we have are born because we have problems with our mouth or dentures and things like that. And so little simple things as taking a plastic spoon, if we already knew about it, just to scrape your tongue would solve a lot of the problems. If we could convince the federal government to include this into Medicare, then a lot of the problems would be solved. It would help also to solve the budget problems. So I urge you to vote for this, AFP 12.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
AFP 13, Taxation, Deductions, Mileage Rates, Volunteer Activities. authored by Senior Assembly Member Rolfe. And I do not have the page number here. Can somebody help me?
I see Senior Senator Fraser already standing up, waiting to speak.
Yes, Senior Senator Nina Fraser, PSA 19. This proposal intends to allow an increase in the mileage rate from 14 cents to 51 cents per mile for volunteers. And this is only for volunteers age 65 plus. And these would be people who are, by and large, volunteering for nonprofit organizations. And it's not in any way, shape, form, or fashion a payment, but it's just to let the volunteers know that they are appreciated. And it would be an incentive, we think, to recruit and retain new volunteers in the programs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next proposal, please.
AFP 15, Social Security Burial Benefits, authored by Assembly Member Billy Taylor and co-authored by Senior Senator Peabody.
I see someone else has already risen. Would you please give your name and speak to the proposal?
I'm allowed to speak as the co-author?
You did stand, didn't you?
But I mean, am I allowed?
Of course.
I can remember. Thank you, Mickey Peabody, PSA 30, Stanislaus County, and I, of course, raised in favor of this for the simple reason that I helped co-author it. It's very simple. I think it's probably one of the simplest in all of our proposals, and we just are asking for a raise in the death benefit from Social Security. It was established in the beginning at $255, which is what it cost to cremate at that point in time. The cost is now $495 for the basic cremation. We've also added the fact that we would like this benefit extended to the immediate family, not just the spouse, but to the immediate family. And we know immediate family is certainly well defined. It's the offspring of the person who has passed on. At the present time, the $255 is paid if you're a widow and you happen to pass over. The $255 is paid to a child or a survivor that is disabled or designated by Social Security. We're asking that this survivor benefit be extended to the immediate family. So many people when are already either widows or widowers when they die, and then nobody gets the benefit unless you have a disabled person on your Social Security. So it's simple, $255 to $495. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a rather unique situation at this point in time, and that is that we are going to have to move ourselves and our name tags from this room across the hall to the other room because the members of this fine facility have need for this room, and I guess we were supposed to be in that other room to begin with, and we just made a mistake. So if you would take your name tags, try to get a similar seat across the hall so that we can allow the state legislatures to come into this room.
No, I'm going to pick it up. Most people would have been flustered. Are you taking tranquilizers? You do it so